Coming up, what an excellent day for The Poster. Well, howdy folks, and welcome to Minute 101 of the Exorcist Minute, a show where we endeavor to examine, extrapolate, and excavate The Exorcist, minute by terrifying minute. My name is Lester Ryan Clark.
And I'm Kynan RUINS.
And we'll be your holy guides on this journey through what some have called the scariest movie of all time. Okay, so our minute begins with Father Merrin looking at that letter.
And it ends with Chris saying, "Come in."
Yes, folks, this is it. The Exorcist has arrived, but let's get back to the top of this minute. I think now I finally understand what Kynan has been getting at this whole time about Friedkin liking to hold on shots. We linger on Merrin as he stares at the letter, realizes what it is. Then he sort of looks up, as Blatty puts it, back to the nature he loves, and we can see him accept the call, accept his fate, his destiny. Just like in the book, he doesn't even read the letter. Did you notice that, folks, right? He knows what it says.
Yeah, that's interesting. That took you saying that to me earlier before I realized that.
Mm-hmm, right?
We just read it as he just reads it. He must, right?
That's it.
No.
Well, no, I don't even think he does.
That's what I mean. I'm saying in our minds, we're just like, we fill in that blank.
Oh, right? Right. Of course he reads it. How's he going to know what's in it?
No, but in this shot, he doesn't open the letter. He just puts it in his pocket. He reads it through osmosis.
Yeah. We regret to inform you that your rent has gone up. He shows up at the house. It's like I'm here to exercise. It's like, didn't you get the letter from your landlord? What?
No, he does get the letter from his landlord. And he shows up at the Meals house. Says, "I'm here to stay on your couch."
Yeah. Oh, you have a possessed girl. I can also take care of that. Actually, rent is kind of lacking this first month, so can we do that instead? You know.
As I understand it, this is the house where all the priests come. They'll just hang out at the meal house.
This is Priest Central. This is PriestHub. Yes. But he doesn't read it. He puts it back in his pocket, and he keeps on walking. He is ascending. The ground is slightly inclined as he walks away from us. It actually made me think, Kynan, this is the base of that mountain that Dante began to climb at the beginning of Inferno, right? Before descending into hell, right?
Right.
Yeah. Now, as this scene is playing out, another scene, an unseen scene, is playing out in Merrin's head, and we can actually hear it. If you listen, folks, you'll begin to hear the clanging of that blacksmith's shop all the way back at the beginning of the film. Friedkin is taking the sound of that bustling desert town and inserting it into this scene as Merrin contemplates eternity. Now, beneath this is something a bit more ominous. We've been hearing it ever since the start of this scene. I'm not sure if it's polymorphia or a bit of original music. It's just this ambient unease. I don't even know if you're supposed to call it music. It's like one constant note, like a hum of tension. Kynan, you hear what I'm talking about? Like what would we even call that?
Yeah, that's so much more common in horror movies after The Exorcist, where just sort of some tone, right? Some ominous tone instead of music, right? So I don't know. Maybe that is because of The Exorcist's use of this avant-garde music, like polymorphia. You know, maybe this is where we start to say, "Oh yeah, that's exactly right," because it's like hitting us in these in this the lizard parts of our brain that are like, "Oh, there's something out there. It's gonna get you."
Yeah, and folks, what is it? What is it? And folks, if you're watch out for Sharon. Merrin's he's walking away from the camera, and then just out of frame, Sharon jumps and tackles him.
My heart.
Oh, I told you to watch out. No. All right, honey, let's go.
That was like what? That was Sharon's whole plan was to to scare Father Merrin a little bit.
Yes.
My job here is done. I freaked out the priest.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I spooked him.
And then what? Father Lucas has come through space and time into the dreams of Karis to warn him that
smoking
those
Galois cigarettes is like, I told you to watch out. She was a linebacker in high school. He didn't listen. No, they never listen. And he takes a big puff. Anyway, I'm a demon or an angel or something. Bye. But yeah. But no, yeah, folks, like this weird, just discordant tone that's kind of rising up out of the soundscape of this. Just to recreate it, like this is. No.
I think I don't know if that's part of your voiceover portfolio, but you and I could just do tone for our movies.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's what, like $22, $23?
Oh, more than that. Way more than that. You can't get AI to duplicate that.
That's true. That's right. No.
And you could, we're watching, because we have to watch the movie and we do it to the film, right? And so, someone's creeping up, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, right? And then they they do a little stumble and we're like, and then behind them they hear a noise and we're like,
That's the trouble. Yes, us getting scared as we watch the movie for the first. We only do one take.
Yes, but no, folks. It's like it's the power of those neurotransmitters and those mirror neurons. Like you'll feel scared because we feel scared, right?
The soundtrack itself is scared.
Yes. You just open the door and we're like, But then it's just the cat, and you just hear one of us just whispers, "Oh, thank God."
Just the cat. I should.
So. All right. But yeah, so this hum of tension, right? In any case, folks, remember in the last minute we said the first few seconds of this minute were actually part of this amazing larger piece, this masterpiece of transitions and overlays. And I misremembered. I thought it was going to be quick. I did not realize that this sequence was going to take up almost all of our minute. Mm-hmm. And I'm actually pleasantly surprised because every shot of this sequence is a painting in and of itself. This might be, for my money, the most visually beautiful minute in the film, starting out with Father Merrin and the letter and ending up with him at the door.
Yeah, they're each little transitionary scene that's melding together, meshing together. They are a little how do you say, they're artistic, which doesn't sound like much, but like they are sort of leaving story for a little while, right? Just getting to image, like let's just look at image and not really worry about like what do these things mean actually, right? Like, what's happening here? So once this other young priest hops out of the frame after giving the letter to Merrin, it's like, well, this is now about just what things look like and feel like and sound like. It's not about plot necessarily, right?
Yeah, but you could, I kind of read it like that, like the transition from this shot to the next shot to the next shot. I saw as like, oh, like these shots are telling a story without any words.
I guess what I mean is that they are doing that through like pure pictorial aesthetics. So I don't mean that they're not, not that they're not plot, not that they're not this is happening and causing the next thing to happen, but it's not through dialogue. It's taking us out of like logic for
exactly.
a while.
Yeah. It is
the way that we have the that similar kind of a sequence coming from Iraq to Georgetown, where we have to look at that Pazuzu statue. So this is the book ending, I suppose, of Act 2 as we're heading into Act 3, right? We go and do a lot of that again. We're just like, geez, what a crazy thing to be looking at right now.
No, this is it is telling the story in a purer form than words. Like the way that our brain interprets stories, that is, it's closer to that than, like they might have some dialogue like, now what Father Merrin didn't know was little Reagan was looking out her window and she was expecting him, and
or some voiceover of Merrin talking to Birmingham on the phone or something, right?
Exactly.
We could expect you tomorrow. Yes. Expect me tomorrow.
I came as soon as you called.
Right, exactly. And then him on the phone with the travel agent who works in the Catholic Church. He's like, so just one? Would you prefer an aisle or
I would actually prefer a window seat. I'd look out.
Let me look
window
here, Father Merrin.
Merrin. That's Merrin.
N as in Nancy.
And yes. So M as in. Oh, I'm so bad. I can never. M as in mouse. E-R. I forgot the spelling of my own name. Hang on. No, they don't do that.
They don't do any of that.
But yeah, so Okay, so let's look at these scenes. Let's look at the story they tell,
Mhm.
right? So this poignant autumn landscape begins to dissolve, and we are met with this hideous visage, a close up of Reagan / Captain Howdy's face. I'm just gonna call this Captain Howdy.
Mhm.
Eyes staring intently at what?
Right.
And here's where I think the transition itself is doing double duty here, folks,
Mhm.
because like by slowly revealing this shot of Captain Howdy staring, we get the feeling that he is staring at Merrin.
Right.
They may not be in the same place yet, but all of Howdy's mind is bent on Merrin. We could take this to mean that he is calling to him, or perhaps he is sensing him for the first time. Somehow he knows that Merrin has accepted the summons and will be with him soon. Kynan, how do you read this? Is Howdy looking at him? Is he sensing him from far off? Is he actually calling to him? Like, is he like yes, Merrin, come to me? Like, what do you think?
I hadn't thought about the idea that he could be seeing Merrin, which is interesting. Sort of like the Wicked Witch's evil little crystal ball thing, right?
Right. Yeah.
That hadn't occurred to me, but one of the things that is happening that makes that possible is that Merrin is facing screen right as he walks up this hill, and
Mhm.
Captain Howdy is ever so slightly facing screen left. So
Yes.
it just sort of does, imply or feel at the very least like, yeah, they're looking at each other, or at least they're in the same sort of they're in an axis together.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
I think
I always thought that yes, that it's more of a sensing thing. Like,
right.
like I have awakened.
Yeah, like there's like a change
Mhm.
is in the air. Captain Howdy feels it. It's like he is coming. Right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And then like another question. We get a really like relatively clear shot of Reagan's face here, at least the top half.
Mhm.
Is this new? Is this a new stage of the makeup? Is this the final stage?
Oh, I don't know. Final stage. That's a good question. Well, we're not peeking ahead. Maybe we should. Maybe other movies by minute host go and do that, which would make a whole lot of sense. But we're not doing that. I wonder if it gets any more crazy than this.
But
Because
is
some
this?
crazy things are going to happen.
Oh
It's
yeah.
just gonna- yeah.
But is this different from like how we saw her before?
I think so, because
Okay.
we did see when last time that Sharon, watch out for Sharon, right,
Sharon.
barged into Reagan's room and shined a flashlight in her face in the middle of the night. Jesus Christ, Sharon. We did start to have some of these open wounds on Reagan's face,
Right.
but I don't remember them being as maybe just a matter of there being more sort of shadow here, but I don't remember them being quite as like healed.
So yeah, like last time.
Let me look back here.
Yeah.
Previously, they are open and like they look fresh.
Okay.
Yeah,
And here
they're they're becoming more of like those battle scars we were talking about. Where like Reagan is like, all right, I've been scarred, I've been fucked up in the face, but I'm ready for battle.
Right.
Yeah,
and it's like an evil healing. It's like it's no longer Reagan's skin; it's Howdy's skin coming out. It's like I like that. Yeah. And yeah, folks, this transition is only about 7 or 8 seconds, but so much is communicated here. And Kynan, am I wrong, or is she mouthing something?
She certainly is, yeah.
Yeah, we can't see too clearly, but like her lips are moving. Now, the thing I just said, like where Captain Howdy is like, yes, good. Like I would prefer that to be in like his thoughts. I don't want him saying that.
He's not literally saying
Yeah.
it. Yes. Now we move on to the next plan. Yes,
Right.
he has chosen the window seat as I have predicted.
He's trying. No. It's M as in you can't think of any words that begin with M. Jesus Christ.
Or he's controlling the travel agent. It's like, it'd be really annoying to him. Ask him to spell his name 3 or 4 times.
Ask to weigh his carry-on again. I'm sure that holy water has taken up some space in there.
Ask him if he wants to be in the smoking section of the plane or not. Do you remember those? I think I was too young to experience a plane that allowed smoking on it. But
I
forget. I don't know when they started. But can you imagine? Like we've talked about that before. How like again for our younger listeners, they used to smoke everywhere.
Yeah,
and there'd be a smoking section at the McDonald's.
Yep.
And a non-smoking section, but it was all one big room, like a McDonald's. So just go over. But yeah,
as if that could like keep you from the smoke. Like that's what we thought, folks. Like a couple walls and a door could keep you from smelling that nasty smoke.
Yeah, and a Grimace statue.
Right? Yeah. But yeah.
Captain Howdy is mouthing something.
Right. And like I don't want it to be him, like dropping some plot, right? Like because it's like Sharon's on the, she's on the chair by the side of the bed, and she's like,
Right.
"What was that, honey? Like, what do you?" It's like, nothing. Don't listen to what I'm saying right now.
Right.
Yeah.
This is private traveler information.
Yes.
This is getting Merrin's driver's license number.
Yes.
But so we are denied hearing what Reagan is saying here.
Yeah.
Because I think she is saying something.
Right. And I'm actually wondering, like, is this just more of Captain Howdy's, like, incessant babbling? Like, we talked about it before. Like, Reagan, like in Reagan's head, is it just constantly like what we heard on the tape, just like all that, like all that stuff?
Yeah, like insects talking to each other.
I wonder.
Well, the other thing about this, so let me look at the script with you, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So in our version of the script, which is from December of 72, so early on in the production, so they've gone and made some changes, obviously, but we go in the script from the Father President, Tom Birmingham.
Yeah.
He's talking about Merrin to the Cardinal. Saying, maybe 10 or 12 years ago, I think in Africa, supposedly the exorcism lasted for months. I heard it damn near killed him. And then we cut to Prospect Street in front of the house. Night. A cab pulls up to the house in long shot. Yeah. So these transitionary scenes are not in the original script, the production draft of the script.
Yeah.
So I imagine that this shot with Merrin walking up this little hill would have gone into production like with Blatty's approval, whether Blatty wrote that into the script or not. Like they had to go and schedule this shot or this scene here and hire this guy who's going to play the young priest and get all that stuff. So they've decided they do need this shot of him in Woodstock, which is one of our favorite shots in the movie.
Yeah.
This other shot of Reagan in the bed, mouthing things to herself, that didn't necessarily have to be something they shot specifically for this moment. This could be a shot that they had in some other scene and that they pulled and used it, which happens a lot when you're editing a feature film.
Yeah, I was actually wondering that as well. Like did they have just like some extra footage? Because we're going to see another shot very, very similar to this one. And I was like, oh, that could have been just like cut from the same strip of film.
I think so. I think that this so this might be originally planned where we hear what Reagan is saying, but now we're using it in this again, like just more aesthetic lizard brain transitionary stuff. So I think that I think she is originally supposed to be saying something that's audible. But it's just really it's really interesting that now we strip that out and it's like, oh, it could be anything.
Right. Yeah.
Right? It's all mysterious.
Is it Reagan or is it Captain Howdy who's talking? It's like,
Yeah. My friend Cody LaBeouf, the director, he was talking to me about he had heard some interview or something about the making of Casablanca. And in Casablanca, in the middle, sort of near the end of Act 2, there's this great scene where they go back to Rick's and all of the Nazis have really taken over and they're like hanging out with Yvette, who is Yvonne, who is Rick's kind of regular girlfriend, and like she's French, but she's now just sort of decided, well, the Nazis are here to stay, and she's hanging out with them, and like they're like the Nazis are bullying the wait staff, and everyone's just really pissed off about it. And then Victor Laszlo comes in and he sees this, and he's the leader of the resistance, and he tells the band play La Marseillaise, right, which is the French national anthem, right? And then the band starts to play it, and then because the Germans are singing the German national anthem, and they're taking it this way. So then gradually the band's playing it, and everyone in the club, including like the non-French people, they start singing, and they drown out the Nazis, right? And even Yvonne, who's like has been having dates with Nazis, she sings in, like it's a really emotional scene. But that when they were editing that, what they had discovered was that they're sort of missing something that makes it work for the movie. And so what they did is that they found this clip of Rick, who's Humphrey Bogart, and they had filmed it originally. Michael Curtiz was just like, hey, Humphrey, like we're just going to film a shot of you just like looking off screen and nodding at someone to give them permission. We have no idea what it's going to be for. So let's just shoot this just in case. And then so in the edit of the movie, it's Victor Laszlo goes to the band. It's not his club. And he says, play the French national anthem. And then we cut to the shot of Humphrey Bogart, who then is, again, this shot of Humphrey Bogart looking off screen, then nodding at somebody, we don't know who. Then all of a sudden the entire sequence becomes like Rick making a decision. Right. As opposed to like Victor, who's like the third lead coming in and making a decision. Now, our hero is like, yes, I'm going to risk this myself. And like, we all could get arrested or shot,
Right.
And so Rick does it. Right. And it's this little piece in production that they let's just do this just in case. We understand how movies are made, that like, even with the best plans, even with the best intentions, we can't get everything that we think we need,
Yeah.
And they see that one little thing. So that might be this. That might be like, what we have just from the bishop's office, right? we just cut to the house, right?
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
I'm like, no, like not really.
Yeah, it is missing something.
It's
There's
missing
something.
some kind of plot thing, and then we go and
Yeah.
shoot. Yeah, we shoot Father Merrin getting the letter, and then we still put him. Oh yes,
Yeah.
yeah. But what are we gonna do here? And they're like, oh, we need to know what Reagan's up to, I suppose.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
how she feels about this, or how he feels about this.
Yeah,
like,
oh yeah, I'm ready for this.
Yeah, it's perfect. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, so it looks like we have evidence then that this is pulled from some other part of the movie, and that this was a change during production, or maybe even during editing.
Gotcha. Well, they made the right choices.
Well, what do you think about, like, why are these things important? Why can't we just cut from Tom and the bishop right to the house?
Well, I think this is the culmination of Howdy's plan, and maybe it's because I'm more familiar with the book, and I get the feeling from the book that Howdy is orchestrating this whole thing. He's trying to get Merrin over there. He wants Merrin so badly. So for Merrin to finally answer the call, we gotta cut away to Howdy just to have him react, right? And even have it like a mysterious reaction where we don't see, we can't tell if it's a smile, we can't tell if it's a look of trepidation, we can't tell anything. It's just like eyes wide and staring, and we're like, is he happy? Is he afraid? Is it both? Right?
Yeah, that's really interesting. And then so that might have, I mean, that is best served perhaps with this shot where Linda Blair is not thinking about any of that stuff, right? When we're actually filming, it's about something else. We have no idea what it's about, right? It's like, well, yeah. So rather than telegraphing what we're supposed to feel about it, she's literally doing something different from some other part of the movie.
Right. She's booking her flight home. She's like, it's L as in lion, I as in the second letter of lion,
N as in the last letter of lion,
and D, which lion doesn't have. But no, but okay, like, we're still talking about this shot. It's so beautiful. So we dissolve from Howdy's face to another shot, this foggy nighttime street. Once again, like just a beautiful shot by itself.
Right.
Mostly these blues and these foggy blacks. And then in the distance, we see headlights pierce the fog. And soon we can see that it is a taxi. And it is fast and not fast at the same time. Kynan, do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I guess. Let me think about. You're right. Why is this?
Because it starts out, like the shot starts out, and we have this, this lone guy, this guy in the background walking in the fog, and we see this car come up, and both of those things, it just looks like the car is another part of the background. Right? It's like you got the guy walking and the car driving, right? Until it's not. Until the car says, no, I'm actually like the thing you should be focusing on, right? And the camera begins to follow it, and that's when we see it's like, oh, it's actually kind of going fast, right? To make this turn.
Yeah, I guess it's part of the fog, because the fog gets rid of some of our like depth cues about like what is happening here. How is any of this working here?
All right.
Yeah, so that might be part of it. And then we're using sort of a longer lens, which can mean that it sort of condenses space. So so if we wanted to shoot you running really fast, we would use a wider lens, because it would look like you're it would just show more of the space, and it would you would just zip along.
Right. Yeah.
And a longer lens tends to condense that, so that when you're further away from us, you could be running towards us, and it doesn't seem like you're getting close. Like like the shot in the Holy Grail, where where the guy is
John Cleese.
John Cleese. I forget who he's playing.
Lancelot.
He's Lancelot. And he's running towards the camera, and then we cut to the two guard guys, and like, what's going on? What's happening? And then every time we cut back to him, he's running as fast as he can, right? But it doesn't look like he's getting any closer to us. And that's partially because he's far away with the long lens.
Right. And I think also they just replayed the clip. I don't think he made.
Well, that's true too.
He didn't make any distance at all.
That's true too. That's true too. I teach this class called cinematic structure, which is like about screenwriting structure. But we watch movies, like a studies class, but it's also a screenwriting class. And so I've put in Holy Grail into that class because of how well it does all of like the regular structure stuff, of like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and characters. But it's also like postmodern. It's like breaking all the rules. Like so. But I'm surprised how few of my students know the Holy Grail, or know Monty Python. Like there are some students who are like, I've never heard of Monty Python. I don't know what this is. And then the other people are like, I've seen this movie about 80 times.
It's either one or the other, folks.
Right, exactly.
And I've almost never heard of the other. Like,
well, I guess,
wow.
you might not. Yeah. But there are a bunch of people who are like, oh, I've never seen this before. I've never heard of this before. I've never heard of these Python people. So
Kynan, these things which we think are eternal, like, like Monty Python, like The Simpsons, like Mickey Mouse. They're starting to fade away.
Oh, that's okay, and we'll get Mickey Mouse back because we're doing this now in 2024.
Oh yes,
when Steamboat Willie is in the public domain, so you can do whatever you want with them.
Yeah, to have fun. Hey, here's a novel idea. Why not make a low budget horror film? Nobody has done that yet, or thought of doing that.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 of them right now. That's right?
Yes. But yeah, okay. So back to this movie, this horror film, and yeah. So
this movie could really use like a spooky Steamboat Willie. And there's like a spooky,
you know what? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
this is what's missing. Yeah,
right. Yeah. Watch out for Mickey.
At least with the Winnie the Pooh ones that came out last year, like, Pooh is a bear. I don't know what this scary mouse is supposed to do. He's a steamboat captain, which I don't think is necessarily very scary either.
Yeah. You know what? I still am waiting for someone to just animate Captain Howdy's face over, the little whistling Steamboat Willie loop.
Oh, well, you could do that. There's nothing stopping you. You don't have to wait for it to go in public domain to make fun of things.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Parody,
parody, guys. Parody. We're protected. We can. Everything is okay. We're this. Please don't come after us, Warner Brothers.
Or Disney. I'd be more scared of the mouse lawyers. The mouse has the big lawyers. So
yeah. Right.
Anyway, so this cab is coming close to us, right?
Yeah.
Then so it's pretty far in the distance, so that gives us some of this this slowness. But then as it gets close enough, it starts to just zip around.
Yeah. So the camera begins to follow it, and it makes this turn, and that surprised me. I don't know why. Every time I watch this, in my mind, I forget about the turn. Right? I figure it's just going to pull up on the same side of the street, and that's where Merrin gets out. And I think we're already across the street, looking at where the house is going to end up. But no, we follow the car as it gets closer, and then we follow it into its turn, and we see where it was heading the whole time was where we were standing. We were standing right outside the house, maybe in the road, but like the house was behind us, not in front of us.
Yeah, so the street we're looking at, which I assume is the street where the McNeil house is on, but it's actually perpendicular. It's the street that we've seen Chris drive down after the night that Burt Dennings was killed. Right. So I was surprised by that too. I thought that we were just on the street on the McNeil house street. No, but we're in the intersection basically that window faces.
The intersection? I thought we were like right outside the front of the house.
Well, yes, but there's a stop sign that this cabbie just drives right through.
Oh, well, there we go.
So we've seen this before when Chris is coming home. Yeah, it's just stop there. But like the shot,
Merrin's like, I forgive you for that, Chris. We're in a hurry.
Well, I don't know. Maybe the cabbie is like, when a priest comes in at 2 in the morning or whatever, and they seem to be very, very serious about things. It's time to run this street, this stop sign. But we've seen this side of the house before during the night of Chris's party, and we were talking about this weird choreography that makes perfect sense as you watch it. But like, it's 2 cars parking at the same time, and they're and it's like logically it doesn't make any sense if you think about like what these cars are doing, but it just feels like it just gives us the idea like, oh, this is a happening party.
Right. It's like bustling, and it's like the cars don't even have time to like stop and hang around. It's like they stop, they unload, and then they go, and then like it's like a rotation of cars.
Right. Yeah. What this cab driver doesn't make any sense because he runs a stop sign, turning right in order to turn left to drop the priest off exactly right in the front of the door. So like this is very, again, heavily choreographed. Like the actual cab driver wouldn't know that he was going to do this, right? If you have to stop there and look and say, where should I park, etc., and do some like parallel parking things. So this cab driver is acting as if he's done this drive a dozen times because he probably did, when they're choreographing this,
So maybe he's familiar with the McNeil house. He's like, we got to drop Carl off from seeing his daughter, his secret daughter.
Right. This cab driver knows all the secrets.
Sure, Mr. Horseman. I know the way.
Off in the middle of the night. He drops Father Lucas off to spy on Sharon.
Right. So we got the young priest who doesn't believe in God. He's like, sure. He knows everybody. Yeah.
Right. He certainly picks up Father Dyer from being tanked out of his mind at Chris's
Oh,
party.
yeah, right. And he's driving back to the residence hall, and
that's true.
in the back. He's like, "It's a solid white nightclub."
It's like, Father, you live a block and a half away on foot. I just wanted to tell you what happened. I just want to tell somebody about my day.
Yeah. This little girl is just like made a big splash at the party.
A big splash.
And he can't let it go. He's like, by that I mean, she peed all over the floor.
And the cab driver's like, I know. I took her to the pharmacy and I got her. Got her some,
we had to buy the rubber pants. We had to do this.
Medicine, yeah.
You'd think, big star like Chris McNeil would be able to drive her own self places, but no. No. Anyway, what am I? Well, yes, I am.
Yeah, you are.
But yeah, so now before we say goodbye to this cab and examine the most iconic shot of the entire movie, Kynan, did you see the name of the cab as it spun around?
Just capital cab, I guess.
Yeah, capital cab. And that logo, I have no idea. It looks like it could be like Capitol Hill or something like that. Yeah, but like I did a quick search for Capital Cab Company folks in the Washington area, and lo and behold, I did find one in Northeast Washington, D.C. on Yelp. It has 4 reviews, all 1 star. I'm just going to read the first one. It's 10 years old. So, okay, here we go. A reading from the Book of Yelp. Okay. I wish there was some form of negative star rating system here because 1 star is so, this is many, many O's, misleading. We were picked up to go from Embassy Road to a club on 9th Street. We were held hostage in some crazy county fair inspired ride from hell that involved a lot of mashing on the gas pedal as though trying to outrun the zombie apocalypse and slamming on the brake peppered with rapid tapping on the horn. Like they do in Boston.
Sideburn Boston.
Yeah, wow, okay. The music was incredibly loud hip-hop, but since clearly we did not look hip enough, the driver changed it to 1920s jazz on some public radio station. This rammed home the obvious, that we look old and deaf. This ride surpassed the horror of my 1987 drive in reverse down D Street in a yellow cab. I'm just saying, thanks for the memories. Not.
Now, this
Signed,
person...
Father Merrin. No.
So this person has at least 2 Washington, D.C. cab horror stories. So
yes.
Is this a case where, okay, you have 1 terrible cab drive, that's on the
cabbie.
That's on the cabbie. When you start having 2 or 3 terrible cab drives and it's on you, are you a bad cab customer?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying, author of this 10-year-old review.
It seems like they're self-conscious about not being cool enough to go to this club on 9th Street.
Well, obviously, the cabbie didn't think that they were hip enough. 1920s jazz, my eye. But
I've never worried that like an Uber driver or cab driver thinks that I'm hip. That's just a new fear I have to develop, I guess.
Yeah, he's gonna be talking about you with all his Uber buddies, Yeah. And if he's ever like, you hear like them communicating through the radio. And it's like, I haven't been in many Ubers, folks. I don't know if they do that.
That they have a walkie to the other Ubers.
Yeah. But it's like, extra pickles, hold the mail. That's code for like look at this loser in my car.
Loser.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, thanks for reading that. That's the kind of deep research Lester does over the Exorcist Minute.
Took me all weekend, folks. I even reached out to that reviewer and got their permit. No, I didn't. But okay, so Kynan, as much as I want this to be the same company, it is not.
Aww.
Yeah, I know. However, you might notice that there's also a phone number on the front door of the cab. So I didn't call it, but I typed it into Google, making sure to put the Georgetown area code. And yes, folks, there is or was a different Capital Cab Company, which has since closed down. Maybe Merrin was their last customer.
Yeah, I mean, you drop off a priest, and then the next couple of days, 2 priests die in that house. Yeah, one of them down the same stairs that director died down last month.
Those are the tragedies they don't talk about. Capital Cab Company and Woodstock College just gone after this.
Yes.
But yes, okay. So we go from last ride to first day of filming.
Yeah.
Kynan, did you know? Like according to the Amazon X-ray, which this is like Father Merrin's arrival was filmed on Max von Sydow's first day of work.
Yes, but but is that this shot or the scene? The actual
right.
scene?
Yeah. When they say arrival, I don't know if they mean like this scene when he gets out of the cab, or like maybe he's like at the door or something like that. Yeah.
Because Lester, who is this man standing outside of this house, whose job it is to get out of this cab and to look up towards the window for this shot that took them all day to shoot?
What do you mean? Who is this man?
Is this Max von Sydow, Lester? You're a professional actor. You know how this works. Is this man in this shot Max von Sydow?
Wait, you're playing with me now. Like, are you saying that you know something that I don't?
I mean,
or are you just like hypothesizing?
I'm hypothesizing. I'm saying if I'm the
right.
producer of this film,
yes,
that I'm not making the most famous actor of our movie do this shot all day for a shot where we never see his face. To what end? What would that get us if he were William Peter Blatty producing this film? This shot takes literally all day.
Well, God damn it, Kynan, you ruined this shot for me.
I don't know why it ruins it.
No, I mean, yeah, okay.
We have no evidence. Zoom in as close as you can. I mean,
so
I was looking because again, this is a really famous shot, and I was looking about this, and we have at least that. Yes, the arrival of Father Merrin is Max von Sydow's first day on set, his very first scene he shot. But I'm looking at this frame by frame. I don't know if this is Max von Sydow. I don't think there's really any way to know that unless we would need a smoking gun in the production notes or somebody recalling this. And I haven't found that. I've found a lot of instances where they're talking about how this shot was composed, but not how it was performed.
Interesting.
We see an ear of this guy.
Yeah, we see an ear. Yeah. You don't think that looks like von Sydow's ear?
Well, sure, it looks like it because that's what we would want to do. We'd want
it's
a guy
ear shaped.
Yeah, we're not gonna cast Bruce Lee or Richard Roundtree or something.
We know it's not Spock.
Right, we're gonna cast someone who looks tall and who has Father Merrin's skin tone because we're gonna see part of his ear. Yeah.
Yep. Interesting. Wow.
Does that really ruin it for you?
No. It's like because whoever's playing him, this is the character of Merrin, right? That's the idea, right? But actually, Kynan, are we like the first ones to like put this out there?
I think if anyone is seriously thinking about this movie, you would have to ask that kind of question. But
okay, right.
But also look at how so they've made this. I don't know actually this question. Like could they make this fog? Is there something they could do to help with this fog, or to just wait for a foggy day? I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, that fog is. I mean, because it's all over the place.
It's
not
all over
just.
The place,
it's not like they would need a pretty big fog machine and numerous fog machines.
How would they? It'd be outside and all that stuff, right?
Right. Yeah.
But so then when the cabbie is driving in, so if you are looking, again, the wrong way at this movie, the psychopath's way of doing this. When the cabbie is driving up, Merrin is presumably in the back seat, but we don't really catch a lot of him. So we sort of see a silhouette of him through the front window, and then through the side window, when the car becomes parallel with us, his window that's closest to us is really fogged up.
Yes.
In a way that the driver's side window is not. So this again might be like, let's help and make sure that like with Father Merrin's body double that we're not going to accidentally get a glimpse of the front of his face because he's going to be leaning back, and we're also going to fog his window up in a way that we're not doing for the cabbie.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. Yeah.
It just that's just the most practical way to do this, as opposed to having this poor guy come in and perform this really thankless shot for him.
Right. And just like, oh my God, the motion sickness of that turn. Like, and then how many times, right? It's like doing donuts on the street. God.
So I don't know. I hope that doesn't ruin things for people. But if you do see any, I'm not saying that like if someone from the production were to say that's Max von Sydow, I'm calling them a liar or anything. Right. If you do see that, which I haven't been able to find, then I would absolutely believe that. But I haven't seen that. Yeah,
we're just not aware of anybody saying yay or nay about that. So yeah. And I mean, based on Kynan's kind of like knowledge of how movies are made, it could be that we have a body double for this iconic shot. Wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't make Max von Sydow do this.
Interesting. I mean, given everything else that Friedkin makes his actors do,
That's true. Oh, he has to wait all day for a scene where we don't see his face.
Yeah,
Boo-hoo. Yeah,
right.
I don't think that's not
All the other
Friedkin's MO.
actors are just like, yeah, I was strapped to a thing that like started slapping me in the spine, and this lady was pulled off her feet and broke her coccyx. And this guy almost had a heart attack because our fearless leader's shooting guns off. He had a face full of pea soup. It's like, oh, but you had to get out of a car.
But just as like, film actors, the kind of thing you have to train yourself to work on is how stressful it is to be told they're going to shoot you, right? Like you're going to be filmed and then waiting all day. Like that, professionals, I'm not good at this, because I don't have as much experience. Like a professional has to just get used to that and be like, okay, right. Like, oh, because sometimes they call you and it's not ideal. It's not on purpose, but sometimes they call you to set and then they literally don't film you. Right. Like that has happened to people. And people just go, all right, that's just the way it is, right? Like they got behind and we'll come back tomorrow. But like, it's really, until you've been through that, I don't know how to explain that to people. Like you're on, because again, it's like, oh, poor boohoo, you had to sit there and eat gummy bears all day and drink coconut water, and then and you got paid for not working. But like, you're getting into this, like you're getting ready for this emotional work, and then you don't do the emotional work, and it can make you crazy. Again, it's not as bad as like cleaning sewers out or or digging ditches or whatever, but it is a different kind of experience that unless you've done it, I don't know how to.
Yeah, my girlfriend at the time, she's an actor, and she called it "hurry up and wait."
Yeah.
And that's what it's like. Yeah, and when I was younger, I hated it because like you go there with the intention of doing a good job. You want to like put on a really good performance for the camera, and so you're psyching yourself up, and your adrenaline is going. You maybe you had like some coffee or whatever, and you're ready now, and you're like, okay, got it, and then they're like, okay, just sit over here and wait for a little bit because we have like this list of priorities that we need to see to. We need to like look at this shot. We need to like tear down and set up a new shot. We need to like check everything, and you're just kind of like. There are so many things going around, or like there are so many things going on, like you're not the center of it. And it does feel a little bit like weird, just kind of like waiting for your turn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially because it's kind of implied that like it could happen like any minute. Like no one's going to be like, it's like, okay, in 20 minutes, we're going to need you on set. It's like, we don't know. Why aren't you out there? Get out there now.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So you have to be like ready at all times. And, so like when I was, kind of less experienced, I wouldn't be, kind of sitting in the back eating gummy worms because I would be pacing around, like waiting to, just jump whenever they said.
Yeah. Like I need to be ready to whatever crazy thing the movie is asking. Be ready to want to kill somebody. Be ready to cry on cue. Be ready to make love to somebody. Right? And it's all this stuff that, takes some emotional work to get into. And then part of it is like if you're a young actor and you get caught unprepared once, right? Like you are hanging out or talking to the crew or whatever, like, hey, now it's your time to get on. And they're like, oh gosh, like I wasn't just jumping right back into it. I didn't get it. And you're like, oh, I'm never gonna let that happen again. Right. and then you're like just constantly like in that state where like I want to be ready. Yeah. So anyways, like if I was producing this from a producerial standpoint, I would not ask Max von Sydow to get into Dick Smith makeup for 3 or 4 hours for this shot that we're not going to see his face.
Good point. Yeah.
So we'll see. I would love to hear if anyone has any counter evidence. I'd love to see that this is really
right. Good. Yeah. But yeah, in any case, let's talk about this shot, folks. This is probably the most famous shot in the film, and I would dare to say one of the most famous shots in the history of film. Kynan, would you agree with that?
I'd agree with that. I mean, we stole it for our poster art.
Borrowed it.
Homage.
Hamagi.
Yeah, instantly recognizable, and I would say, one of the most famous shots in history. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Even to the point, like, Bram Stoker's Dracula, which is another film that we were thinking of doing, like a movies by minute thing eventually. I saw that recently, and when Van Helsing arrives, he literally does the same thing. Like it's like you can't. It has to be like an homage to this movie. Like it's too point for point. Like he's standing under a light or a lamppost, and he's got the hat, and he's got the briefcase, and he's got the coat, right? Yeah. But yeah, now, okay, so according to Friedkin, this shot was inspired by a 1954 painting by René Magritte titled Empire of Light. So here's what Friedkin said. he said, "I saw this painting in the Museum of Modern Art in New York. It's called Empire of Light by René Magritte. I had that in mind, and I chose the house to match the Magritte painting, the street lamp, the shaft of light." Now, in actuality, Empire of Light refers to a series of paintings by Magritte, 27 to be exact. All of them depict this paradoxical image of a nocturnal landscape beneath a sunlit sky. The paintings weren't planned as a formal series, and they've never all been exhibited together. And they're rarely exhibited in smaller groups. The original French title, I'm going to try this. L'Empire de Lumière. Lumière, oh yeah, this is be our guest, right? Yeah. L'Empire de Lumière is sometimes translated as singular, right? The Empire of Light. Sometimes as plural, the Empire of Lights. Other translations include like the Dominion of Light, right? They're making a distinction. They say like an empire exists in relation to a ruler. A dominion does not necessarily need a ruler. So yeah, empire, dominion, tomato, right?
Yeah, so Magritte is a surrealist, right? So what's interesting about these is that, yeah, if you were to cover up the bottom half of the painting with your hand, you would see just sunny daylight. And then if you cover up the top part of the painting with your hand, it looks like a nighttime scene. And so, but he wants us to see them all at once. And like, again, like, bother us or delight us. I'm sure it's a little bit of both, right?
It's a little disturbing. It's like, that's weird.
Yeah. Well, the top is in each of them that I've seen, the top is really nice and happy, and then very happy, and then the bottom just doesn't look necessarily scary on its own, but you put them together, and it's
right. It's just the fact that it's nighttime on the bottom half. Yeah.
As my students often say, it makes you feel some kind of way.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that's a really cool reference, and yeah, it's that old-fashioned sort of street light, and yeah, I see it. I see that influence here.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's the inspiration. But now let's take a look at the shot as it is presented to us in the film. So the cab pulls up, it stops. A tall man in a black coat emerges from the back seat. Soon as he closes the door, the cab rumbles off into the night, leaving this man alone in front of the house. He is carrying only a small bag, perhaps a suitcase or a valise, but it calls to mind the image of a doctor making a house call.
Yes.
Yeah, right. We've had doctors in this film, right? White lab coats, bright offices, loud machines, right? But the silhouette of this old man, black and silent, conjures up something older. Slowly, deliberately, he makes his way to the curb, heading toward the house. As he does, he steps into a shaft of light, which seems to be coming from a window of the house, specifically Reagan's window. Kynan, what do we think of this shot?
Yeah, and I believe the more that I've looked at this, again, I would love to hear more about how they did some of this, but I believe the shaft of light looks like it's coming from the window, but it's actually being... I hesitate to say this. I just want to say, clearly, like if someone tells me otherwise, I would believe it. But I think that the actual light is at the outside of the house, and this tree is sort of hiding where the light actually is.
It's like another street light or something?
That is an actual film light that they put there. Oh. So I that's what I believe is happening.
Okay. All right. Oh, okay. So the light isn't coming from inside the window, but it's like, but it isn't like a diegetically, like it's not like another street light or something.
No,
like
yeah,
that.
like diegetically, it's definitely supposed to be coming from this window. Yes.
Okay.
I just think that for that to happen, I have to ask my cinematographer friends about this. I should have, because I believe for that to happen, the actual window that we see would have to be completely blown out and just like totally white.
Right.
And
we would have to see the light and everything.
Yeah, and it's actually matching the window that I suppose is supposed to be. What is that supposed to be? You know what? I'm realizing now. I don't know why I waited till for this to be on the air.
Yeah,
we've been calling it Reagan's window, but it's not Reagan's window.
No. I had the exact same. No. Kynan.
Okay.
It is her window.
How?
I've been having the exact, like I had the same weird little stroke the other day when I was writing this script, and I was like, hang on, and I went and I checked. Our good buddy, he uploaded the the map of the house. It is her window,
but that's not the window that's facing the streets. The facing facing the stairs. So there's a second window.
It is okay. Whatever it is, whatever that window was. Oh God, is like the Berenstain Bears. The Mandela.
No. Oh, the window that
my brain is breaking right now.
The window that Burke fell out of or pushed up, and that faces the stairs.
Yes,
that's on the other side of the house.
No. You ruined the poster for me, Kynan. You're not going to do this. No, it is definitely Reagan's window, according to the map.
So are there two windows?
No, I think that you could also fall from that window and down the stairs.
Bullshit.
No. Remember what Kinderman says, a very powerful man.
Hold on. This episode's going to go so long because we're looking Exorcist.
I'm literally recording this the night before.
Exorcist house.
I'll be up all night.
Floor plan. All right, let's take a look at this here. There's the house.
So I believe
no. That's the other window.
This back. Okay, so I visited. Like it's the pictures. The pictures are up. In the Facebook group now, right?
Right.
I went to the house. This whole back area doesn't exist. It's actually just the corner on the right. Right. It's just like a square house, right? So Reagan's window isn't there. But that is Reagan's window.
I don't think
I took a picture. I took a picture of what I thought was Reagan's window because I was like, oh, there's the window, there's the stairs. But no. Okay. Hang on. Okay, hang on. Oh, God, I'm going to cut all of this. This is... We can't move. Do you realize we can't move past this?
I know. We have to look at this. It is not Reagan's window. It's
M as in monkey. Yeah.
It's Sharon's window. It's not Reagan's window.
No, that's not. Why would light be coming? Watch out for Sharon.
Right, because Reagan's window faces the stairs. We see Kinderman looking up at it, and it has to be over the stairs. And so, so think about, you go into the hall, right? You go up the stairs, down the hall, and wait.
No, that is her window. I am telling you. No. All
right, then there must be two windows in that room because this one's facing the street and the other one's facing the stairs. But when we look at, but when you see Reagan's room,
yes, no, Kynan, you're absolutely right. There are two windows. Oh my God,
in the room.
Yes.
Do we ever see them? We only see the one window ever.
We only see the one. Hang on.
No.
I'm looking at the map right now. I'm on the second floor, right? And I'm in that little weird little hall that you have to kind of do a complete what is it? 180, right? Mm-hmm. You go up the stairs and then you like completely do a U-turn and you go down the hall, and down the hall is Reagan's room. So this right here, the thing that I am pointing at is absolutely Reagan's room. You walk into you walk through the door. To the right is the bed, and directly across from
where?
Across from the goddamn door.
Okay, across from the goddamn door is the bathroom.
The window.
No.
The bathroom is to the left of the bed.
Okay.
Are you looking at the map?
I'm not looking at the map. I'm looking
over the goddamn map.
I'm looking at the movie. So I'm looking at the scene where Father Tanny comes in with
Father Tanny. How can we trust anything you say now?
Dr. Tanny and Dr. What's his name? Dr. Klein. Mm-hmm. And the door is open, and there's a hallway window, and there's a window.
Oh God.
There's a window that faces the foot of the bed. Okay. And then so Reagan's room has two windows.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Reagan's room has two windows. All right.
Yes. Reagan's room has two windows.
Great.
And that, oh my God, I did not realize that until just now. How fucking stupid.
Right. But the window where
so
that's not the window that they get pushed out of, which is
right.
Okay, that's important for us to know so we don't make that mistake and say that this window with this light is the murder window. It's not.
Right.
It is a different window.
This is the holy/demonic light window.
Right. That is that basically if you are Reagan sitting in bed because you're strapped to it.
Right.
Basically, you're looking out this window with the light.
Right.
And to the right of you is the one where the priest get murdered.
Right. So if you're Reagan and if you're lying in bed, and you're staring like between your toes, that's where this window is.
Great. Okay.
Right. And then if you just look to your right, then that's where the other window, the murder window is.
Okay. Great. Yes. So I'm having trouble finding a shot with both windows from the inside of the room at the same time, which that's fine. But now I think I understand.
They do a really good job of keeping that from us.
All right. So you go back and delete as much of that as you can that makes it sound
no,
like
I'm going to keep all of that in.
Right. But the basic idea. No, but okay. The basic idea is that
I have to just double check. I cannot we can't end talking about two windows and fucking fake Father Merrin. That's a sin that we can't
Okay.
okay.
But the point is, the point of all this is
Yes.
that
The point is we are experts and we examine, extrapolate, and excavate, and we can't.
you've been to the house.
Yes, I haven't been inside the house.
No.
And that part doesn't exist.
Right, exactly. This part where Reagan's room is not real.
Yeah.
That is
so Reagan, there is no Reagan's room.
That is an addition that they made very, it looks real from the outside, but it's behind it is just nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a real house. Anyways.
Okay.
But the point of all this is that emotionally it feels like the murder window.
Yes.
That's what it feels like the murder window.
Hang on. Just hold for a second.
No. Okay.
All right. Yes. Okay. So let Jesus fuck you. And they're struggling on the bed, and at the foot of the bed, on the the side, if you were laying in the bed and you're looking out between your toes, there is a window.
Yeah, and that's the window where Chris breaks her back there, or Ellen Burstyn breaks her back.
She gets thrown to that window.
Right, because the lead line is behind that. Right. So I don't know. I guess this whole show we've just been thinking it's the same window, but it's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. At least I'm not the only one.
Yep. Okay.
But anyways, the point of all of this, the reason why we're arguing about any of this at all, is that it looks like Father. It looks like Mac Fonseca, even though it's not. It's emotionally, most likely it's not. It looks like the light is coming from the window, even though it's probably not. It's probably coming from right to the left of the window, hidden by the street.
What an excellent day for downers, folks.
No, I think it's beautiful. This is how movies are made. It's like,
no, it is.
And
I'm
this
kidding.
window emotionally feels like the murder window, but it's not literally the murder window. Right.
And I actually want to. Okay, so that's the next thing I want to talk about here is what this whole visual means.
Right. Yeah.
So like I don't even know where to begin. Like this whole shot is so iconic. It's so powerful. It makes us like whatever the details are. Right. The floor plan, whether it's Father Merrin, whatever. Right. Like this shot is so iconic. It's so powerful. And again, like it goes against the grain. The same way this whole movie has been going against the grain. And what I mean by that is, like, we talked about Captain Howdy, right? Both the Eileen Dietz face and the Reagan face, and how like neither of them fit the, until now, typical depiction of the devil, right? Like no horns, no hooves, no fangs, no red eyes. In fact, like almost no red at all, right? And we talked about how Captain Howdy sounds nothing like what, until now, the devil has sounded like, right? He's not speaking like, like a Dr. Claw voice or something like that, right? And speaking of sound, the theme of this devil, the music, is not an overblown church organ or a hellish choir, right? It's something more akin to a lullaby, as Friedkin puts it. This soft tinkling, which now, when we hear it, we can feel it going up and down our spine, right? This lullaby of the damned.
Right.
And now this, right? Getting back to this shot, we have a shaft of pure white light seemingly coming out of Reagan's window and shining on Merrin as he makes his way to the house. As he walks, he looks up at that light. Kynan, what is this light? Is it good? Is it evil? It's coming out of Reagan's window and it's pinning him. And the very next shot, like, we're not there yet, but the very next shot seems to suggest that this light is an extension of Reagan / Howdy, right? This has always confused. No, that's not the right word. This has always fascinated me because, like, cinema language, this is the exact opposite of an evil presence, right? It's this white light. I would almost want to read it as him standing in a holy light. And maybe that is what this is. Maybe the light is not representative of Howdy, but like Merrin's destiny. That is where he's going to fight his last battle. That is the holy light calling him, and he's answering the call. What do we think? What is this light?
Yeah, that inversion idea is very interesting. Right. It does feel, I mean, I hear you about it's a pure light. It's like the kind of light that we see, like the clouds open up and God speaks to you through, or the light of ascension, right? Just to think back of like Friedkin's idea of we're constantly ascending. So even we're not going to see Father Merrin like walking up to the door and knocking on the door, where we're going to get from this shot, and it's going to feel like he's ascending up this heavenly staircase, right? Right. Inversion's really interesting because to think about this shot as the poster shot, the iconic shot, right? And this title, The Exorcist, which sounds, we talked about that before, like when you go into the movie fresh, it sounds like The Exorcist is the bad guy.
Right.
He's the Babadook.
Like, right? The Exorcist, the Babadook, the Grudge, right?
Right. And so like if
the Steamboat Willie now,
But if you could put that into minor key is what it would have to be.
Right.
Like do 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 boom 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 boom. But like if we take the shot out of context, right? Merrin is the bad guy. Right? Like try your best you can to like erase everything you know about this movie and who Merrin is and everything, right? He looks like he looks like the villain. He looks like the monster.
He's this black shadowy presence with a hat and a coat, and he's carrying it like he's the devil, like with his bag of tricks,
right?
And he's gonna, he's coming to some small Mark Twain town, and he's gonna
open up
win everybody's
called Needful Things. Right?
Exactly,
he looks like that guy. Yeah,
it's Mr. Needful right here, right? What's his name? Leland Gaunt. Yeah, yeah. Good. No. Yeah, this is yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he looks at the bad guy who's come home to kill the family, right? So everything is inverted. So that's what I like about this as the poster shot, is that it asks us, again, that they've marketed this movie with this shot, and then when we get to it, it's the opposite of what we think is happening.
Yeah. Huh. Wow. And no, you're right, because like they've done parodies of this poster where it's like, the two, like Harry and Marv, the two burglars from Home Alone, looking at the house, and the light is shining out of the house, and it's like indicating that like the house is going to eat you up,
right.
And the house is looking at you. It's evil, and that light is evil, right?
Right.
Yeah. Interesting. Huh. Okay. So yeah. So okay. Personally, just for you, how do you interpret this as?
I think it is the opposite of what it feels like. It's that it's like that is an evil light looking down at Merrin, and he's there, and he's all by himself, and he's going to face it down. He's like the gunslinger coming into town to clean this house up.
So it's like an eye of the house.
It's the eye of it. Yeah,
he is laid bare. He is like in the spotlight. He is he's pinned.
Yeah, I like when you said that. He's pinned. Yeah.
Okay. And another thing that I misremembered is that he stops and he looks at the house for a second. He doesn't. In fact, this part is relatively quick. He gets out, and we're so entranced by the shot that we think it's like longer than it is, but it's actually like forming in front of our eyes as the scene plays out. And this silhouette is the last piece of the shot, the last puzzle piece, and then after that we cut. So he just like he's walking up to the curb and then cut. And so he doesn't do the thing that everybody else like parodies. He doesn't do the thing like when anyone else is like making fun of the shot, they'll do this thing where they'll walk up to the street light and then they'll look up at they'll stop and they'll look up at the house. He doesn't do that, right? He just keeps walking.
Let's pause just quickly for some research. Sorry, hold on.
Okay.
This. Sorry, this will be messy for you.
Is this the 6 seconds that Amazon took out of Merrin stopping and looking at this light?
Just doing some. Okay, that is interesting.
Also on the cutting room floor, he turns to the camera and the camera zooms in, and it's definitely Max von Sydow.
It's
like, hello, I didn't see you there. I'm Max von Sydow.
I'm trying to think about why that is, but you're right. I have the exact same sort of idea that like we get him full stop looking up at that window. He sort of begins to, and then we cut away to another shot of Captain Howdy.
Yeah.
So I was looking. So I don't know. Maybe because the way the poster works, where it is.
Because the poster is a still image, so we think, oh, he must be just like standing there.
Yeah,
right?
And they do use this image of him looking, just starting to look up at the window. So yeah, maybe that. And then in the original trailer of the movie, which begins with this shot, it's similar. We have we cut right before, right as he's looking up. So we cut at the exact same time. So I was thinking, maybe in the trailer or something, like they use more of the footage or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, it stops. It cuts right when he looks up, right? So it's the same cut as in the movie.
Wow. So we all had like a Mandela effect there. Yeah. It's like but you don't. So you think like there is some footage out there that like they just never used.
Well, sure, they didn't. I don't think they just said. I don't think they cut right there.
Yeah,
they probably cut a little bit later and then added the sound, but. Yeah, so that's why I was wondering, like, have we seen that some other place? Because it's not uncommon for marketing materials for us to mistake them for the film itself, right?
Right, and trailers will have like different footage and stuff like that. Yeah,
yeah. The original trailer, for instance, so it is basically all it is this shot. And then cutting where we cut, and then it's all Eileen Dietz, Captain Howdy faces, and that's just about it. There's relatively little from the movie itself after that.
Yeah. But yeah,
So that might, I'm sorry, so that might, if we'd seen the trailer, that might prepare us for when we do have these flashes of Eileen Dietz's face, here and there.
Right. Also, okay. Speaking of, let's get back to the movie. We cut from this most iconic shot to
I'm sorry.
another
I'm
shot.
sorry.
Oh yeah.
Before, let me talk about the poster stuff before we move off of this.
Okay.
shot.
Okay.
Sorry
yeah,
about that. I was just
no
thinking
worries.
too hard.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to think about the use of this in the poster. So this, again, we borrow it for our poster for our show.
Borrowed.
It just
Yes.
seems like the only, like as we were discussing, like that's the only thing we can do.
Uh-huh.
Like there's no other,
Yeah.
there's no other
No,
option
there's
than what
no
we
other-
can do here.
Yeah.
But so this was in one of the original posters. I spent a lot of time trying to track down other posters. So these might exist somewhere where at the original release they had additional posters, but the
Right.
original poster was by Bill Gold, the poster designer, and it is just the end of this shot in a still frame. And in that one, they have taken the color out and made it more just high contrast. They've just shown the contrast there. And in that one, the entire window of Reagan's is completely blown out, like I was saying it would need to be to make that work, right? So it's the silhouette. So what do you think?
So there's no more question. It's just coming from.
It is
that
definitely
window,
coming from in the poster design of it. So
Yeah.
I was looking, and it looks like this is the poster, in America. This is the poster overseas and other English-speaking places. It's just the poster everywhere. So they knew that this was going to be the shot of the movie.
Yeah.
And then it's the poster for the Betamax version. It's the poster for the VHS. It's the poster for the Laserdisc, right? So it's not really until we get to like more recent releases on Blu-ray where we have any other option for anything else.
Right.
Like this is it, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So the very first poster says opens December 25th when the movie. That didn't work out. It actually opened the day after, right?
Oh.
So it has this initial like, hey, we're going to open it on Christmas. And then we have versions of this that very quickly. Well, let me ask you this, Lester.
Yeah.
If you were to think about our movie, not the way the movie looks, but like what, just the feeling wise, what color does this movie give you? So let me think. Like to me, The Lion King feels green to me. Titanic feels pink to me, even though there's not a lot of pink in Titanic, but does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you have any other ones, but what color does The Exorcist give, as the kids would say?
Oh, well, I think I see what you're getting at. Like I would think like Godfather would be kind of like this rich gold brown.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Like
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Those are like the Don Corleone's audience room,
it
right?
feels like that to me too. That's the color.
The
I
leather
would say,
and and all the drinks in there.
Feels like daddy.
It's daddy's room. But no, I was actually thinking about this. I see like blues and greens and blacks for The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Specifically because like I'm thinking like and like all of them. So it's weird because throughout the entire movie, right, you see like the shades of the room, you see, the night sky outside, you see all of that stuff. All of them kind of like make an appearance on like Reagan herself.
Yeah.
Right? She's got the blue, she's got the green, she's got the the grayish like fogginess to like this foggy landscape.
Yeah. So what the poster does after this initial one that has the Christmas release date, they start taking this Bill Gold image of the high contrast image of the shot, and they start adding a purple font to it, and they start putting on this purple. The bottom of the poster where it says Ellen Burstyn, Max von Sydow, directed by William Peabody. It's purple, and it is this really like almost lavendery light purple sort of look. Yes, and then and so that becomes the marketing colors for the film. And again, like it's weird, it works so well, but that's a color that's not necessarily in the movie very much, right?
Oh my god, I didn't even think of purple. Like, but no, you're exactly right. When I borrowed the poster, I was trying to find a font, and I was trying to find that exact color of purple. It's been my whole thing's been like designing it around that theme of purple that they have. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, like, I can think of one place where we have this purple, and I don't know. Like, do you think of it being anywhere?
The only thing I can think of is like just like the bruising on Reagan.
Oh well, that's very true. Yeah. The only place that I think about it is on Father Merrin's prayer shawl.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God. That's even more
And I
obvious.
think it's
That's
the
like brighter. And
only I
yeah.
think it's the only place, we can look at it again, yeah, but I think it's the only place where we get this purple at all. So it's
Yeah.
interesting that, like, to the marketers who may or may not have worked with Blatty and may or may not have worked with Friedkin, today that's very common where the marketers
Yeah.
let the directors and the producers have a lot of input, at least, and the studios will
Uh-huh.
try
Uh-huh.
to tell them, please don't do that. You're going to cost us tens of millions of dollars by
Mm-hmm.
changing this marketing. But so I'm not sure how much Friedkin and Blatty were involved with this marketing, but they've decided, like,
Yeah.
yeah, the movie's purple. The movie
Yeah.
is black, white, and purple, and
Yeah.
that branding sticks with the film to the current day, really.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Black, white, and purple. Because like I'm thinking now, like, final showdown scene, right? And everything, like all the colors are muted because like they're in this dark room, right? And the only things you see are, the priest's clothes, which are black and white. And then of course, right, he's going to be like under that little tableside lamp and you're going to see that purple shawl, which is like wiping up Reagan's vomit and everything.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that is brilliant.
Yeah. So anyways, they've stuck on that for quite some time in the marketing, and then that absolutely has to color the way that we watch the film. Even if you buy it on Amazon, you have to go through some version of this shot here that we're looking at.
Right. Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Thank you for that, Kynan. Oh, that is really cool. I never even thought of it that way. Now, okay, so we cut from this shot, this iconic shot, or now all I can think of is purple, to another shot of those eyes. They are wide, they are alert, and they are aware. Kynan, what is this expression on, I'm just going to say Captain Howdy's face.
Yeah, it's interesting. So in the previous version of that shot that we've seen, right, he is staring somewhere and then mouthing stuff. And in this new one, when we come back to it, the stare is a little bit different. It's staring a little bit to the right of where he'd been staring before, and then not with any of the mouthing, right?
Right.
Yeah. So to me, it feels a little scared. I don't know what you think about it. Like, SpaghettiOs.
Yeah. It's okay. Well, we can both agree that it is different from the one we just saw.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. The first one reminds me of like the expression on Howdy's face in Karras's dream, right? That most famous shot, like the white Eileen Dietz face, right? We talked about how it looked hungry, right? Like I feel like this is an echo of that, right? But maybe more intense because we're at the end of the movie and it's not Karras, he's sensing it's Merrin. And then this second shot, we cut back to Captain Howdy's face and the eyes are wider. It's, for me, it's a two-parter. Like it's a part of it's a progression of the same expression. So it's like, oh yes, he's coming. I can feel him. And then he's here. Like, and you say scared. I say, I'm kind of on the fence about that. Like I'm straddling that fence. Sorry,
it's my fence.
But no, I don't want to say it's one or the other.
Right.
I want to say it's one and the other.
Yeah.
Like he is excited to begin, but he's also like, because there is a reason that he wants Merrin here, right?
But like this is the moment he's been waiting for, I suppose.
Yes, this is the moment he has been waiting for, right? He has wanted Merrin, and now Merrin is here, right? And you can see in that face, it's like he's here. He is near me now. Like to me, this expression says so much about their relationship. It's different from him and Karras, right? Howdy has been playing with Karras. Karras is beneath him, but Merrin is something else. Merrin is an old foe. He is a rival. He is a worthy opponent. I keep thinking back to like Batman and the Joker, right? This intense obsession with your enemy that borders on what? Not love, but like some kind of like intimacy that doesn't exist between most enemies.
Yeah, in some versions of the Joker Batman mythos, it is that neither of them would know what to do without the other one, right? They wouldn't know who they were. They've defined themselves around that person.
It's like one completes the other, right? And so as much as Merrin is going to his destiny, perhaps Howdy also feels that this is, this isn't just going to be like a fun time for him to like, have an epic battle. Like this is also his destiny, right? And yet, as we'll see, this feeling that he has for Merrin is very much one-sided, right? Like much like the Joker, right? It's Howdy who wants this meeting, right? It's Howdy who keeps saying Merrin's name. I'm sure Merrin would prefer that Howdy just stays in hell and they never meet again. But and he's answering this call, but he's not coming in there like we joked, like, oh, hello, old friend, right? Like that's more like what Howdy would say, like even though he doesn't, right? Merrin is here to exterminate Howdy. right? He's not relishing a grand battle. He's not even going to acknowledge their history, which, as we'll see, really pisses Howdy off, right? Like, after all this, you're going to come in here and pretend like you don't know me? How dare you?
Right in front of your friend, your new friend, your new rival, Priest Scott. Is he your arch enemy now? What?
Yeah. Oh, I guess you're busy, with Beelzebub. Okay, fine. And okay, I'm joking, but like, I'm also not, folks. Like, Merrin's presence stirs up emotions in Howdy that were not there for the other characters. Remember, we talked about how amused he seems by everything going on around him, right? Everything is amusing. Karis amuses him. Merrin offends him in a deep, fundamental way. He offends him, not just like what he did, right? Cast him out that time before, but like who and what he is. And I don't mean like, oh, he's a priest. I mean the man himself, the character of Merrin, offends Howdy deeply, and we don't know why yet. Even this late in the movie, we still don't know a lot about Merrin, about his past. Friedkin and Blatty have only shown us glimpses of Merrin as he is now, right? This is the hero at the end of his journey, but Howdy remembers him as he was, and it's this feeling of, like, how dare you pretend to be good now?
Yeah, do you know what you did?
Do you know what you did?
Apparently not. You won't even admit it.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yeah, again, in the script, we have Prospect Street in front of the house, and the priest pulls up there and describes him as a tall old priest, Merrin, etc. And then we cut to, well, this is too good. Let me read some of this. So, as the cab pulls away, Merrin stands rooted, staring up at second floor of McNeil House like a melancholy traveler frozen in time. Oh. Yes, but interior Reagan's bedroom, Reagan is apparently unconscious. Yeah, so again, we thought that, okay, we also, all this stuff that we're building here through editing was not in the original plan for this. These things change again, but yeah, it's so weird, right? Because it's like, oh, it's perfect in the movie. Like, how could you possibly do that scene in Casablanca without Rick saying, like, yes, go ahead and do this thing, right? How could you possibly do this in The Exorcist without the demon sensing Merrin has arrived, right? Oh, the demon sleeps through that? Oh, no.
No. That's cutting room floor. That's like, it's like, Miss Chris McNeil, I'm Father Merrin. You just hear upstairs, Merrin.
I've been up
sorry.
Time, right?
My alarm didn't, I set it to silent. It didn't, you caught me at a bad time. 10 minutes, okay? I'll just...
I've caught myself, Lester, waking up, like sleeping past my alarm, which I often do, and then catching, because I have an iPhone, screenshots of my alarm, like in my photos. So what's happening is that the alarm is going off and I'm trying to snooze it and I'm just taking a screenshot so that it's just a screenshot of me just totally, automatically ignoring my alarm and going back to bed. So.
Now, is it screenshots of the phone screen or is it screenshots of your sleepy face?
Oh, that'd be creepy.
Well, apparently I was awake on time. But... Yeah,
just screenshot of it's been like faculty meeting, don't forget.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we get the idea that Reagan has not been sleeping through this. Captain Howdy has not been sleeping through this yet. They've been waiting. They knew Merrin was going to come.
Yeah, this is the moment they've been building to. Yeah. But yeah, okay. So let's take a look at this next shot. So Chris is already at the door. We are behind her as she opens it. The old man is still in shadow. We can't see his face, but we hear his voice. He says, "Mrs. McNeil." And I don't know about you, Kynan, but like, we haven't heard his voice before, right? No. So this is the first time we hear his voice. And I don't know if I'm getting this from the book. I can't exactly remember. But just from the film, just hearing his voice, it's almost like you just feel safe. It's like, okay, everything's going to be all right. Like just that voice is not the voice of Dr. Klein. It's not the voice of Detective Kinderman. It's not even the voice of Karis. It's this... I don't even know what quality is behind it to make me feel like, oh, thank God. Like, it's something. It's like, I don't know, age, experience, like just like goodness. I don't know.
Yeah, just comforting. And it's
comforting, yes.
And then also it's not the question, Mrs. McNeil, like, oh, I'm not prepared. Like the door opens and he, first of all, I mean, he is in shadow. And again, it's like, if you look out of context, he's the murderer.
Right.
He looks like the murderer.
We cut a new trailer and he's open. It's like Mrs. McNeil, and then
Right.
hard cut.
But that voice, like, it's not Mrs. McNeil a question like, "Hey, I'm coming in and I'm trying to figure things out." Like, he just understands, right? And it's just like, you are Mrs. McNeil and I'm here, and So absolutely, that
it's almost like he's saying the words Mrs. McNeil, but it's almost like he's implying it's like it's all right.
Yeah. I get it. I'm here. Statements.
So
as opposed to Karis, when Karis comes, it's like, well, where is she? Like, what's going on? Like, who is this?
Right.
Tell me about this. And he seems to be fully briefed and fully prepared for all of this, right?
Now, Mrs. McNeil, and then Dr. Klein is like, now, Mrs. McNeil, if that is her real name.
And then Dr. Tanny is like, well, look at this machine. If this is her, Mrs. McNeil is her real name. This machine would tell us if you're lying.
Yeah. Do you like movies, Mrs. McNeil? You're in movies.
But we're going to see Father Merrin doesn't ask unnecessary questions the way that Karis was. Karis is trying to get all this information, and Father Merrin knows what he needs and what he doesn't need.
I did not notice it until like another watch through of this thing, but he gets right to work. Yeah. There's no messing around.
Right.
Like he's like, I compared him to an exterminator earlier, but it's like, no, that is it. He is not, there's no ego in this at all. He's not like, all right, let's get ready for this grand battle. Let's, he doesn't even say it's like, let's save your daughter, right? He's just like, where is she? I would like to begin now.
Right.
Right. But we're not there yet. So we're still on the other side of this door, and we're now looking inside over Merrin's shoulder to see Chris as she says, yes, right? To the answer of, Mrs. McNeil. She says yes, right? With hope in her eyes. Kynan, again, am I reading too much into this? I cannot help but feel like Chris looks younger in this shot. Maybe it's just like the expression, but even as early as right now, it looks as if something has been lifted. She looks almost like the beginning of the movie Chris McNeil. And maybe that's because, the bruises are finally healing. But this look of relief, this look of hope that she gives us through this door, through this doorway.
Yeah, and there's also this fog that sort of makes it look hazier. And I think you're right, younger somehow. Maybe we get the sense he's old. We've seen him at Woodstock and everything. And so I like that. Yeah, definitely younger.
Yeah.
And she's looking up at him slightly because he's so tall, but not in a way that's like, I'm a little woman in this world of tall men.
Right.
More like, looking up.
Yes. Right. And then our old man replies, he says, I'm Father Merrin. And that's it. That's the, this is now we know who this is. We cut. And our last shot of this minute, we are back in the house. Merrin is taking off his hat. The door is already open, and Chris has said, come in. This is how our minute ends on this hopeful note. Merrin is here. He is finally here. Already we feel something, folks. We feel this quickening, this awakening of a hope we thought was long gone.
The script will tell us that this is, now we see it is the old man in khaki from the opening sequence. So
so the script reveals that finally.
Yes, that's him.
Oh, okay. It's him. It's remember from the beginning. Yeah.
Right. We have half an hour of movie left, and so I'd say we're in Act 3.
Yeah, this is most definitely Act 3. And we will continue this scene and talk more about the character of Merrin in the next minute. For now, that is all of my notes. Kynan, is there anything else?
No, I think that's it.
All right. Folks, this has been another excellent Exorcist Minute. I've been Lester Ryan Clark. You can reach me on all the socials as Lester Ryan Clark.
And I've been Kynan Diaz. You could find me on Instagram and Letterboxd at Howdy Kynan.
Yeah, we got our listener group, Compelling Conversations. Go check that out and request to join, and we'll let you in here with us. Thank you so much to everyone who's shared the show by word of mouth or on social media, and a big thank you to everyone who has given us a 5-star ratings on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen to our show. We really appreciate that. It's going to help our little podcast grow and find more cool people like you. All right, Kynan, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I think I am, Lester.
Folks, until next time, the power of Monty Python compels you. How do you know she is a demon? She looks like one.
Oh, that's just Dick Smith. So it's very impressive.
She threw me out a window. And then everyone looks, it's like, I got better.
I don't want to talk to you no more, you empty-headed food trough wiper. I vomit pea soup in your general direction. Your mother was a hamster and she sucks cocks in hell.
Now go away before I taunt you a second time.
Oh God! But you get Sharon's boyfriend is in every scene. In that.
The Vatican. It's only a model.
Don't want to go to the Vatican anymore. It is a silly place.
Oh God.